What was that thing, Blake?
It was like an animal, but it was standing on 2 feet.
All right, everyone, pack your gear because we're talking about Leigh Whannell's Wolfman. In Wolfman, we're introduced to Blake, a loving husband and father who spends his days caring for his young daughter, Ginger. When he receives word that his missing father has officially been declared dead, he convinces his wife, Charlotte, to bring the family to his remote childhood home in order to collect his things. However, as they approach the farmhouse, their family is attacked by a vicious beast. Barricading themselves inside the home for safety, they await the morning out of fear for their lives. But soon, Blake begins to fall ill, forcing Charlotte and Ginger to decide whether the greater danger lies within the woods or within the walls of their sanctuary. If you don't know the name Leigh Whannell, you may be familiar with his previous dive into Universal's classic monster crypt in The Invisible Man. Now, whereas Wolfman isn't nearly as good or as powerful as his previous work, one can't deny that there's quite a bit of fun to be had here as you step into the woods of Oregon.
You're scaring me.
While the film is labeled horror, one can honestly say it's not particularly scary. Instead, it feels more like A Quiet Place, which is more of a thriller in a monster setting. It's a monster mash.
Daddy, are we gonna die?
No, it's my job to protect you.
Whannell squeezes every single dollar out of his budget. This is a film that relies basically on camera tricks and makeup to be effective, and Whannell knows how to squeeze every ounce of it out there. With simple camera movements and rotations, and specifically changing the color of the screen, he managed to draw you in a way that I simply didn't expect, especially when it gets to the, quote, wolf vision, which I don't want to say too much about, but it's a surprisingly engaging and simple trick that gives you a whole new perspective on the characters. Admittedly, while it doesn't come anywhere near the beauty and power of the sexual assault metaphor in The Invisible Man, Wolfman does feel like it's trying to say something, even if it doesn't really know how to find its voice.
What is happening to me?
Much of this centers around the character of Blake, who is absolutely loving his role as a stay-at-home father and husband. However, we sense that there's more internal conflict with him. And as the film goes on, we see that he is battling a beast within as he's fighting his own primal nature. In fact, it's worth noting that the title of the film is not Wolfman, it's Wolfman. There's a gap, there's a tension between these two worlds that they want you to know from right within the title.
I think my husband was infected.
In this way, it feels like Whannell is trying to get to a point about toxic masculinity and the tension within the domestication of modern men, but it just doesn't quite leave the mark of this previous effort.
Can you understand me?
So while Wolfman may have bite, it doesn't leave a mark in the same way that Whannell's vastly superior Invisible Man left on its audience. But that doesn't mean there isn't fun to be had. This is a well-executed monster mashup, and if you're looking for a night of fun, it absolutely might be one that you're intrigued by.
Wolfman is in theaters on January 17th, 2025.